Okay. Thank you so much for speaking with me. Saw the show. This was fun. But also, this is your life. Why would you agree to put your life out there in public with so many people to judge and there's criticisms left and right and tweets and social media? Why?
Oh my goodness, Dana. My life is already out there. I live to
Mhm,
inspire women and I tell my story. And I'm not embarrassed of my story. I don't need validation for anyone, but I
mhm.
serve other women. And you can't really help a woman level up from a place of deep darkness if you've not been there. They're looking at
Right.
you to say, I know you've come this far and you've been there. So this was a platform. I've been married a few times. I'm proud of the amount of times I've been married. I don't think it's a
Mhm.
bad thing, but I need to share that with other women because women are struggling with that very thing today. So this was
Right.
just a bigger platform for me to help the women that I want to serve.
Right. Now, there will be criticism about, oh my God, you've been married for so long, to so many times. What is it that you want to put out there that people might misunderstand when they hear that number?
Well, okay, so two things. I'm getting ready to get married for the fourth time, hopefully.
Hmm.
I am very proud of being able to get four husbands. Some women can't get any, but what you need to look
Mm.
at is just because you had a failed marriage, you were brave enough to leave it for whatever reason, even if you were the one to be left. It wasn't meant to be, if you understand what I'm saying. In life, we are meant to be happy, and happy people make other people happy. And if you're not happy, you're surrounding yourself by unhappy people. Your children are not. So when you make the decision to leave a relationship because you're not happy, you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself to become happily single once again and all of a sudden meet somebody else that you fall in love with. This is what life's all about. We only got one.
So, can you also talk about the importance of marriage? Because they look at the relationship and it's great and wonderful, but what is it about the end goal, it seems, for the marriage?
Okay, so I think of marriage as a corporation, an institution of two people who are deeply in love with each other and have
Hmm.
made a vow to work together to build their dreams and their goals that they have talked about. And now they're working together like two parallel roads and they're holding hands working towards building this empire. I see them having families. A marriage is about family, building an empire, and living a great life with someone that you love by your side. You never
Hmm.
have to travel alone unless you want to. You never have to worry about who you're going to spend the holidays with unless you want to.
Right.
So it's a great institution so long as you have found the right person, whom I always refer to my perfect partner.
I like that. Now, one of the things that might come off and that was also presented on the show was the materialistic side. You look at the ring and the cost of the wedding. Can you please, for people out there who is calling you materialistic and all these other things, uh, it doesn't seem like, what do you have to say to them?
Well, I didn't know that I was being called materialistic because I haven't read anything and I have not seen the show either. But thanks for the warning. I do like nice things, but I work hard and can afford my own nice things. But
Mhm,
I'm very provident with my money. You know, I have a emergency fund. I have
mhm.
everything intact. I got a certified financial planner, and I work really hard. And if I want to buy myself something nice, then I should be able to do that. But no, I'm not. Everybody that knows me knows I'm not materialistic. I don't brag and I don't boast. But if I have it, I just have it. I worked hard. Why not?
Wonderful. And what is it about Ernest where you're like, this is the one?
Dana, Ernst is my true perfect partner. If I tell you,
Mhm,
all my life I've wanted someone who would just not be afraid to show the world how much he loved me.
mhm,
Ernst does that. I mean, there's not a day in my life that he doesn't post on social media, tell people when we're out to dinner how much he loves me. He's very attentive to my needs and desires. He treats me like a true queen. Maybe that's from his Haitian background. I don't know, but
mhm,
he is truly my perfect partner because he has the core four values that I want. Someone who's in love with family, someone who will go to the rooftops and tell them how much he loves me, someone who loved my children at the door. That was
mhm.
very important to me. So when you have my core four values, then it's all good.
Now, what is it from your past that you have learned from that you can apply to this relationship to make it a success?
That's a great question. I'm an Afro female, and with Ernst, I let him have his way a lot because it's not really important to be right all the time.
Mm,
I'm an attorney, so sometimes it's hard to turn that hat off and you want to argue your case. So
right.
I've learned that it's really not important. Some things you just let it go. And there was once a time I never let it go. And little things can get into bigger things. So I just learned to say, I don't have to be right all the time. And I think that's important for me because I always want to be right. So,
Right.
so and it's working out. So I'm like, oh, I should have been doing this all along.
No, one of the things that does come up, they were saying, this is the one for you. And then it was like a pause and say, will you be done and over with after this? And you said, well, there's a number 5. If anything happens, you will still be looking. So is it someone that you're looking who matches you and what you and your life, or is it something else, the overall perfection?
No, Dana, I will not be looking. But what happens is, and what I
Mhm.
meant by that statement is that I'm not adverse to getting married again.
Right.
So if it didn't work out with me and Ernst, I'm not looking for anyone. I would be looking to be happily single again. And if
Mhm.
something would happen, I'm not adverse to getting it, but I'm not looking for it. And I never look for it. Love seems to find me.
Okay. Now, also with the show is that we know that you came from a previous relationship. You just kind of freshly got out of that one, and then you jumped into the one with Ernest.
Yes.
The thing is, when do you, for yourself, when do you know that it's time for you to jump into another relationship?
Okay. Let me tell you, I was not ready for Ernst. I was literally 8 days out of a relationship, but it was a short term. It was like 9 months.
Right.
But literally, and I told him, I don't want you to be like the rebound guy. I literally broke up with someone 8 days ago. And he was like, life was meant for two. I'd like to take you out to dinner. And I waited about 2 weeks and went out to dinner. And you know what Ernst did?
What?
Every single weekend to this day, which is now 3 years, he has taken me away or done something so I would never go back. He took up all my time, so I couldn't come back because he knew that he loved me, I think, on our first date, to be honest. But he just knew. So I think 8 days is too short, but it worked out for me. I mean, who wants to do that? So there's no time frame. It really depends on the two people. Love at first sight must be a true thing.
Right. What do you love that's kind of remained consistent with Ernest?
He is consistent.
Mm.
He is consistent. And if we make plans, we do those plans. There's never me waiting for him. There's never a no show. His affection is like it's infectious. People see it like, wow, we wish we were like you guys. Like he can't keep his hands off me. Like we're getting ready to go to Dubai, and I hope we don't get arrested. You can hold hands, but that's about it. But
Right.
he's consistently the same person. He wants to keep this relationship hot and steamy, and he'll do whatever it takes to do that.
Now, for anyone out there who is looking for love, is there an advice that you can give them, or is it more like just a personal journey?
No, this is not a personal journey. Here's the advice. Never settle. If there's something missing in a relationship and you
Mhm.
can feel it, don't lie to yourself. There's somebody out there that will give you what you want. There's a
Mhm.
lot of men out there. I mean, the women think there's not. So do not settle, because that one thing you want or those two things you want, you will always want them. So you'll be
Right.
6 years married and you'll be yearning for that, and you'll end up leaving if you're confident enough to do that. So I say, do not settle. Go for what you want at the beginning.
And when do you know the difference between not settling and compromise?
Okay, so compromise. So settling is something that you have burning in your deep soul. It's the
Mhm.
core four that you want in a partner. Compromise is two people sitting down at the table and saying, well, I want this, I want that. Let's figure out a way to meet in the middle. That's what relationships are about, the ability to compromise. And sometimes it might not be all the way in your favor, and sometimes it's a little bit of give and take. That's a wonderful thing. But settling when you know your heart is yearning for something that you really need is totally different and unacceptable.
What have you learned about yourself through the course of filming?
I learned that I'm funny. I think I could be a comedian.
Mhm.
um, I learned that I don't have the patience that I thought I had.
Mhm.
And I learned that I really, truly am in love with Ernst.
Oh,
Through this filming of this, it was very intrusive in our life. But
right.
you find out whether this, we just felt. I think we fell more in love filming this show.
Oh, wow. And you're talking about the intrusiveness. When is it when you say no, stop filming? And when is it okay to film? Like, do they want everything?
Well, I'm not going to spill any beans, but
Right.
I never stopped them from filming. They do their own thing, and we never felt we had to stop anything.
And through the whole thing, through this whole journey, we don't know how it ends, but what would you say has been the greatest lessons, not just in relationships, but just overall, especially dealing with reality TV?
I think the greatest thing is that you learn sort of what people really, really want when they said something else. So
Mm.
someone may say they want A, but you find out they really want B. And I think that's important for those things to be revealed before you make these major decisions. So that happened a couple of times sprinkled throughout, but you'll see.
Oh, see.
You'll see.
Have you gotten a chance to see any parts of the show or look back at it?
No, so now you're scaring me. I've not seen any part of the show at all. So I will be seeing it for the first time when it premieres. So I'm excited, a little scared at the same time, but
Oh, I got it.
I'm excited.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for speaking to me. This show is really, it's interesting and it's a lot to learn just about relationships in general. So thank you for opening your doors to that.
Thank you.